What's up, you guys? So, first of all, before we get started tonight, I need to make sure that everyone can hear us. So, put a one in the chat. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, put a one in the chat so that we can go ahead and get started. What's up, Leslie? Leslie says Robyn is pathetic. What's up, Nana? Hey, Tadisha. Let me see if I'm seeing some ones. Yes, I'm seeing some ones. All right. All right. So let's get started. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm here with our friend to the channel. We have Ty from Ty's Hot Mess History. And we're here to talk about the hot mess that is Juan and Robyn Dixon's relationship, according to Juan's alleged former mistress / side chick, whatever you want to call her. So thank you all for joining us tonight. What's up, Ty?
Oh, not a whole lot. Thank you for having me here tonight with you and your lovely, lovely lambs. I'm ready to get this party started.
So last week, you guys, we were live with Ty and also Keisha from Color Me Pink. And I was saying that I don't have a name for my subscribers. And Color Me Pink was saying I should call y'all Layla's Lambs. So that's what that is a reference to, Layla's Lambs. So I said, y'all are my precious lambs of God.
Yes.
Yes. So we're going to be discussing everything going on with Juan and his alleged former side chick or mistress or whatever. And then also Robyn has done a new interview. She's done an interview. This is post the reunion. She's actually done a couple interviews since the reunion, and she also talks about the situation between Karen and Juan, the allegations that Karen has made. So we're gonna get into that as well. But I want to start off with you, Ty. Of course, we both reported on the allegations against Juan Dixon that this woman is saying that Juan Dixon, she dated Juan Dixon. That's quote unquote dated. But then she said something strange because it's not, the allegations that she dated him while he was with Robyn is kind of like expected. But she said he would kind of like, or he did at least one time set her up for an unwanted encounter with somebody else. So I want to know your thoughts overall about that alleged situation.
Right. Yeah, if what she is saying is true, and I honestly, how like sometimes you hear these things and you have a feeling about whether or not they are true. I tend to believe what she's saying. Again, obviously it's all alleged, but if what she's saying is true, it brought a couple of things to my mind. One, I did wonder if she was a sex worker, but now I'm even on the fence about that, because that is like the way that you might treat someone who is a sex worker. And thank you, Tiffany. But I noticed that she said that after that thing happened where she felt like he was trying to pass her around to one of his friends, and his friend exposed himself and asked for a job of a certain kind. I don't know what I can get away with on this channel. Um, After that happened, she said that she stopped talking to him. And I don't mean the kind of job that Juan needed, all since we've been watching this show before he got hired, right? But she said that after
Okay.
that, she stopped talking to him. And
Right,
then,
right,
then he sent the waving hand text message, and she never replied after that.
right.
So it does give a trafficking type of vibe to it. And then, of course, coupled with the allegations of his involvement at the cover up at the university, it doesn't make him look good. This is more than just Juan cheating, if these things are true.
Right. And it might not even be cheating because him and Robyn may have an agreement. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
the girl said that Robyn knew about it. So it might not really even be cheating. If it even
Yeah.
happened, like again, this is all alleged. We don't want no problems. We don't want no
Right.
issues. We don't want no smoke. So right
Right.
now, this is all alleged. But I am discussing it because you know how they say where there's smoke, it could
Yeah.
be a fire. Like to me, that's why I wanted to discuss it. But you guys tell us in the chat if you're what's your first inclination? Like, do you think this woman's allegations could be true? We could do a poll. You can put a just put T or F. A T if you
Hmm.
think it could be true, or a F if you think it's false, like you really don't believe it. Tank Truck, I wanted to comment on this. He said, even we'll just say ex workers, even ex workers have limits and lines that
Hmm.
aren't crossed. That's true
Hmm.
from my you're supposed to negotiate what you want before you get started. So
Right.
I don't think you can send somebody to their door. You know what I mean? Like they're still human
Right.
beings. Not
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that
Now, I
second
don't think
part.
that he was. Yeah, he was definitely out of line for doing it. They're still people, right? And if
Yeah.
she's contracted to work with one person, then that's the deal.
Right. I'm looking at these comments. I don't see one F. Oh, here's
I
one.
see
Chocolate
one. I see
Capricorn.
one,
Yeah.
and I
What's up?
see
I chocolate.
Rack B says on the fence.
Okay. Okay. Someone said I do feel it. T. Yeah.
What may I
Yeah.
ask you, Layla? What do you think? Because I've heard like this, to me, the what she's saying is not the typical. Um, the man who I like is with somebody else, so now I'm gonna blow it up. To me, I kind of feel like her motive is that it's not because she wants to get Juan back or because she's jealous that they're married. I kind of feel like she doesn't like the fact that their marriage would potentially be positive press for him. And so she
Hmm.
wants to just put it out there that, like, no, he's not a good person. Like, just because he's finally marrying this woman doesn't mean that. But what do you think? Because there's a lot of talk that, they're kind of trying to play her like she's that average mistress who comes out just because, she's jealous because she's the one who wanted the ring. What do you think about,
Mm.
her reasons for her timing?
I do think that's part of it because in the first messages, I recall her saying something about that, didn't she? About him, or maybe it was Giorgio. Giorgio says is the blogger who brought this to light.
Yes.
And I have a link to his channel. Let me drop a link to his channel. It might have been the way he explained it, but at some point it was said that it had to do with what people were seeing on TV about Juan, that she just wanted to put it out there who he really is. Like he's not what he looks like on television as far as, finally marrying Robyn and doing the right thing by the kids or, however people might interpret that.
Yeah.
I believe that was his impression as well. Um I think it's possible. I think it has to do with the fact how she was like, he's almost like a predator. I think that's the major issue here, that it wasn't just a regular like fling or whatever you would call it.
Mm.
I think it's the fact that that man, he allegedly set her up for that man to come knocking at her door. I think
Right.
that's the real issue here. Like she needs everybody to know like what's really going on here, allegedly.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Allegedly.
Do you question her timing though? Like,
Um,
why didn't she say something right after it happened? You know, they always do that. Why didn't you say it
well,
then?
I would think that you need time to process it. And she did
I
reach out to
agree.
Robin, and she also said that she reached out to other women. So it seems like
Mhm.
she was trying to like get it together. Like, what is going on
Yeah,
here? Did he only do this to me? Does he do this to other women? Does Robin know about it?
right.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I know a lot of people have a problem with what she's saying and when she's saying it, but I really don't. I find no fault in her saying these things.
Yeah, I don't find fault in what she said, but we'll get into more later because I do have an opinion about some of this stuff. But
Mhm.
I want to get into so Gio says I just dropped his link in the chat. He is a TikToker and a YouTuber, so I dropped his TikTok link and his YouTube link. So you guys make sure you follow him. So he posted some more receipts because people, had questions. People had questions and they wanted to know what's really going on, allegedly. So he posted this conversation, and this is a conversation allegedly, between Juan Dixon and this woman. And at the time, I believe Juan has a different Instagram name now, but this was
Mm.
his Instagram allegedly at this time. This was like last year in 2021. And she actually reached out to him in the explanation. Giorgio, explains that. And then it looks like she might have said something to him about basketball. Because then he says, I love both teams, two
Mhm.
well coached ball clubs. And she says, LOL, good answer. That was on September 7th, 2020. And then the next day she says, and he doesn't really respond. So to me, in my opinion, this is kind of her like chasing him, like he didn't respond.
Mhm.
So the next day she says, I'm intrigued by you, can't lie, not trying to be weird, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of used to this conversation the other way around. You know how men will tell you I'm
Right.
intrigued by you, like, but
Right.
this is how she's, coming at him, and she's saying, she's not trying to be weird. Obviously, she knows that he is in a
Uh-huh.
situationship at the least. So he
Uh-huh.
says, "You good? Thanks." And then it looks like something might have been. Oh no, that's a play button covering the rest of that. So he says, "You
Mhm.
good? Thanks." And then she says, "Do you ever come to Canada?" And he says, "I lived in Toronto for a bit, but had no reason to go back." And so
Yeah.
to me, when she says, "Do you ever come to Canada?" To me, it's like
Mhm.
flirting, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, come to Canada.
Right.
And then when he
Absolutely.
says, and when he says, I haven't had a reason, to me, that's flirting too. Like, give me a reason to come back. And then
Mhm.
she picks up on it and she says something. She says, it almost looks like she says, love to give you a reason to come.
Yeah.
And then he says, really? And she hearts it and says, yes, really. Actions speak louder than words, though. So she's approaching him like she's chasing him, and she gives
Yeah.
him her number and says, text me. And then he gives a shocked eyes emoji as if he's shocked about this, and then says, I will.
Mhm.
So that was September 13th. And then I don't know if he texted her in this time, but the next message is September 25th. And she says, still keeping my hopes up, LOL.
Jeez.
And it looks like he said he tried. Maybe he tried to call her. And then
Mhm.
she says, damn, I'm sorry. I'm almost finished with a client. I can call you back. Can I call you back, please? So, Todd,
Mm.
you can see where this woman is reaching out to Juan
She's
first.
pursuing him.
Yeah, she's pursuing him. What do you think about that? And y'all leave
Yeah.
a comment too. I want to know. I have to know what y'all think about this woman appearing to pursue Juan.
Yeah, it definitely looks like from these messages that she is pursuing him. And I refuse to believe that she, didn't know who he was as far as Real Housewives of Potomac is concerned, which would mean that she knew about Robyn. Um, and so I never like to say that anyone is just clear of guilt, especially if a mistress knows that a man is married. But I'm always going to put like 90% of the blame on the guy, because I could see her like maybe watching the show and thinking, kind of like a lot of us joke that we think that Juan and Robyn are not like in any kind of real relationship. So maybe he's,
Mhm.
more free than the average guy who's living with a woman. However, it does seem still odd, and she's definitely flirting. Like, she definitely wants his
Mhm.
attention. And if she knows anything about Juan from that show, I can't imagine, like, what did she say that he's intriguing? Is that what she said? Uh,
Yes, that's the word.
yeah, I can't
That's the
imagine what
word.
would be intriguing about Juan, like, that you'd want to know
Mm.
more. He's just an angry cheater who needed a job for 3 years. Like, what's there to know?
Mhm. Yeah. So E said, I wish it said a screenshot. She would have done a video and scrolled through the whole conversation from start to finish. I do believe more receipts are going to come out. And I think Gio said that he has asked her for more receipts. And
Yeah.
so I do think, you might get what you want. You might get what you want, E. Gracie, what's up, Gracie? Gracie's Quilting and Crafting Corner said, listen, Karen
Mhm.
dropped a hint when she said Robyn has discovered technology. She wasn't saying that for nothing. That's because
Huh,
this season, Robyn, she has her Bluetooth going. She's
girl.
showing the guy's picture, Mr. Blue Eyes, on her phone. And so
Yeah.
if she's up on technology, then she might, see what Juan is doing via uh, social media. People want to know about this verification check. Listen, I am sharing with you what was shared with Giorgio, and so
Right.
I don't know about this verification check, but I do believe Juan has a different username presently. I think it's like Terps Dixon or Dixon Terps or something like that. But at the time, it looks like it may have been Juan underscore Dixon 3. But again,
D
this
would
is
he
all allegedly.
would
Go
he
ahead.
necessarily have a verification check mark? Juan?
Let me check my phone. It's up to him. It depends on if he wanted to get verified.
'Cause I know a number of
Mm,
I'm only on Twitter. I know a number of
mhm.
those, Bravo husbands aren't verified, and even, Candace wasn't verified for the longest time. I know, on Twitter herself, like, some of the Bravo celebrities themselves are not verified.
Mm. I think he has more than one account because
Okay.
I do see this account called Juan underscore Dixon 3. But I did this video on Juan like a couple months ago. This young girl came out
Oh,
and
yeah.
exposed Juan. And I didn't actually post it publicly on my channel because, to be honest, you guys, sometimes I get tired of Juan, cheating on Robyn. And by the time I finished the video, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I am so tired of this. And I didn't even want to post it. But at that time, he had an account on Instagram named like Terps Dixon or Dixon Terps. So I'm thinking he might have like a
Hmm,
personal Instagram because this one is private, Juan underscore Dixon 3, and then a work Instagram.
got it.
Okay. They say no screenshots, no case. Okay, yeah, she might have bitten off more than she could chew. I mean, I,
Mm,
I I don't agree with her actions as far as pursuing a man that you see is in a relationship, but more so than that, like the heavyweight thing going on here is the allegations that he set her up for an
yeah,
encounter with someone without her permission. That is the bigger thing going on here.
I
E said
agree.
Juan's page is still not verified. He's not famous. Oh, he's E-list at best. Girl, I'm looking at your profile picture like, what is going on here?
I was looking at that too. Like, is she on the floor with her legs propped up on the couch? Is that what it is?
Yes. They said more
Something's
like
going
P-list.
on.
Yeah, he isn't or wasn't married. Yeah, he wasn't married at that time. So we could say side chick. It wouldn't really be a mistress. It would be um a side
Yeah,
chick.
side chick. Yeah.
Gracie said also the woman said she started talking to Juan during the pandemic. Oh, wasn't Robyn depressed around that time and couldn't get out of bed and Juan was
Mhm.
disgusted. That's what they
Yep.
showed on the show.
Yep.
Make it make sense. You said I don't believe this lady. She should do she should do an interview with me to prove her story. Well, I'm not
My
gonna believe her.
goodness.
Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that I don't believe her, but I like when people tell the whole truth. So
Mhm.
I do feel like I haven't seen the whole truth yet. I will say that. And if she wants to come talk to me, I'm
Uh-oh.
open. I'm open, but she would have to
Okay.
be open to telling the whole truth. Like, don't come on my channel like you know, hiding
Mhm.
things, like
Mhm.
hiding things. And I feel like a lot of times people hide things, especially when they're making allegations about other people. But again, I feel like I said, if you would weigh it out,
Yeah.
if he did what she said he did, that's a crime. And I don't, pursuing a man who's in a relationship is not a crime. So
Right.
when you talk about criminal activity, it would be on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you said that because I'm not seeing a lot of people really report it from that angle. It's kind of just like, "Ooh, see, Robyn, he didn't even like you like that." Like, no, did y'all hear what this woman said he did? Like, he should probably be behind bars. Like, that's not good.
Oh, thank you for the super chat, Mims. He said Juan probably has a few accounts, several phones, and lots of blondes that look like Karen.
Oh my
But I'm
god.
not one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me.
My goodness.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. I'm
Yeah.
sure he does. But I also wanted to get into this because, like I said, Robyn's been doing interviews, and this is since the reunion. She's been doing interviews. So I want to cue up one of her interviews with Page Six.
Okay.
Give me one second. Because in this interview, she talks about the situation with Karen. All right, you guys, I'm gonna play it. Put a one in the chat if you can hear it.
Um,
Things are really spicy on Potomac, and you are bringing you're bringing a lot of the heat.
All right, could y'all hear that? Put in the a one in the chat if you were able to hear that. What's up, James? Okay, I see some ones. I see some ones.
I mean, this last episode was wild. The whole showdown with Karen. We brought out the picture of Blue Eyes.
Ooh.
How are you processing it all today, especially after the reunion?
Yeah, you know what? So, okay, so first of all, when I watched that episode, they sent it to us before the reunion. I died laughing at the sketch of the blonde in Georgetown. Oh, I
So
these
good.
actors are hilarious. Like it was so funny, but it was just what was even funnier to me was that Karen, like those words actually came out of Karen's mouth. I'm like, you don't think you sound ridiculous right now? Like
She was so specific. Like, she's beautiful, natural, mature, lives in Montgomery County. It almost felt like Karen was workshopping an idea for like a Hallmark movie.
It was 50 Shades of Karen.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was the funniest thing. So like, and it's like, I don't know. I guess I gotta find wherever she said she read it on a blog. And then that was the other part that was like, once they reveal that it was read on a blog. And I'm like, so you read this on the blog, and from that you deduce that it looks like that she looks like you and that he wants.
All right. So, what do you think about her? She's basically laughing off Karen's accusations. I think a lot of people did because, Karen always puts herself in the mix as far as the girl looking like her and having blonde hair like her. Even RHOP editors were kind of making fun of it.
right.
But do you think it's possible, Juan could have a crush on Karen? Do you think it's possible he could be dating someone that looks like Karen? What do you think?
Yeah,
And y'all,
it does not sound ridiculous to me at all. I don't understand why it sounds so ridiculous to them. I understand that Karen is older. She does not look older than Robyn or Giselle, and
right.
she's a nice looking woman. And frankly, she reads as more feminine and sexy, seductive than Robyn. I would not be surprised if any man looked at Robyn next to Karen and chose Karen. That's not
Yeah.
surprising to me. So, like, the way that they keep trying to play Karen about her age is really ridiculous at this point. Like, she keeps showing the girls season after season, that she's here, she's got her body banging, she's looking good, she's not playing with you girls, right? So,
Mhm.
no, it does not surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. It's not unbelievable that he would like a woman who looked like Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
He wants you. I'm just like, this is the most insane laughable joke I've ever heard.
Well, that's what it came down to, that Karen said that Juan apparently is trying to deliver something other than pizza to her door.
I mean, I think Karen is letting you all know who she thinks about every night when she goes to bed. I mean, the delusion, it's like obvious that she wishes there was a little something there. So
what were your thoughts on her claiming that Juan propositioned a threesome with Karen? She was so confident when she said it.
I mean, it was so funny because I didn't even remember, like, it was so long ago. We're talking about something that was said at the season 4 reunion. Like, we're in season 7 now. And so I vaguely remember like us, laughing and joking about a threesome at the reunion. And so I'm like, okay, I first of all, I know Juan, he's very playful. He is flirty. And I know that if he said whatever she said, he said to her, it was a joke. Like, I just was just like, you sound ridiculous. Like, she sounded like she's been sheltered all her life and has never had an interaction with, a friendly interaction with a man. And I was just like, this clearly was him being playful and joking, just about what just transpired at the reunion. And I just brushed that off. And in the moment when she brought up like how he hugged her and she felt uncomfortable, like it was still laughable to me. But when I watched the episode, I was like, this is actually borderline dangerous, because I felt like she was implying something that didn't happen, that just, we shouldn't put out there. You've got Candace all mad about what Giselle said about Chris. And then you have Karen over here talking about, oh, he hugged me hard and I was uncomfortable. I'm like, we've got to stop this. Like, it was too much.
Well, I think that was the point. I think that was the point of what Karen was saying, that it was inappropriate. Right. But I see Gracie's comment about, she says, Robyn rarely does interviews, is given damage control. And I was wondering the same thing, because like I said, when I started, this is just one of the interviews she's done. She did a podcast with Hollywood Life too, where she was claiming, it's such bad timing, but in the podcast with Hollywood Life, she was claiming that Karen wants Juan. And that's the issue, that Karen wants Juan.
She's got to say something. So, I mean, I'd like to know how she's going to respond to this side chick and what she has to say, because frankly, what Karen said is light work compared to what this side chick is saying. So I don't know. Yeah.
You guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think Robyn is doing damage control at this point? The allegations regarding, let me take this off the screen. The allegations regarding Juan and this alleged, woman, this alleged mistress, just came out, I want to say 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. And this interview that she did was after the reunion, but it's not clear on the date of the interview. So it's not clear if the allegations about this woman were out when Robyn was doing these interviews. But to me, it's not a good look that she's out doing these interviews, and at the same time, this woman is coming forward with these type of shocking allegations about her husband, not just allegedly cheating on her, but putting her in a situation to have an encounter with someone else without her consent.
I would hope that the allegations from this side chick came out after those interviews, because I already have a feeling that, or it seems to me that when I do see on the rare occasions Robyn and Giselle, when they're interviewed, they're never interviewed by anyone who holds them accountable for, just their dirty ways. And so I could see someone interviewing Robyn and completely not bringing it up, but I hope that that's not the case. Like, I hope that someone wouldn't completely gloss over that and then just, allow Robyn to act like Karen is just some crazy nutty woman and not have this whole thing lingering in the background and say, well, Robyn, but what about this? Like,
So if Robyn and Juan are on the next season 8 of Real Housewives of Potomac, do you think this issue will be brought up?
I think that it should be. The way that Robyn and Giselle are protected, though, I wouldn't be surprised if the ladies like are not allowed to bring it up. It just seems like Bravo goes out of its way to protect Robyn and Giselle, and to make them, look better than everyone else thinks they are. I don't get it. But I think that it certainly should be brought up. If Robyn can go in and go in and in and in on Karen about raise business taxes, then surely we can talk about Robyn and this and Juan. I mean, if we can always talk about Michael Darby and his touchy, grabby, feely ways, then surely we need to be able to talk about this. Like, if Robyn does return, I feel like she ought to have the season from hell.
Yeah, she should. I mean, it's only fair. It happens to
Yeah.
all the other girls. Yeah, so it's only fair.
That's what she said at the on the most recent episode when they were at dinner, right? She told Karen, hey, we all, have to answer. We all have our feet to the fire sometimes. Well, it's her turn.
Yeah, it's only fair. All right, you guys, I want to thank Ty for joining us. We are going to go live on her channel at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in like 8 minutes. So let me get the link. Hold on. I'm going to drop the link. I just dropped the link to her channel. And also Giorgio says, who is the one that brought the alleged side chick to the forefront? So that's Ty's channel. And when this video ends, you'll see a link to her live video. So join us in about 8 minutes, and we're going to be discussing. Ty, you can introduce what we're going to be discussing on your channel.
Oh, yeah. So a couple of things. So I asked our lovely hostess, and thank you again for having me, Layla, if she would be interested in doing some Bravo reviews. I only watch the Black shows on Bravo, y'all, so forgive me. I watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac, and I just had the last season of Married to Medicine. I did not watch that. I just got super tired of all the ladies. But I thought that it would be fun to kind of go back and rewind and look at some things that we could compare and contrast from one show to another. So we're going to be talking about the dethroned queens. And I use the word queen very loosely when it comes to Charisse, but the dethroned queens of the three shows, Nene, Mariah, and Charisse, the ladies who basically, have taken the credit, and who, I think rightfully have the credit for putting their cast together, putting their shows together, and how, like, oh my gosh, none of them are on as full-time cast members. And so I just want to compare and contrast some things that are going on with those women. And then we'll do that briefly. But then after that, we're going to get into the reunion looks for Potomac for this season, because we didn't want to just spend a whole hour talking about that. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, just talking about those three women, taking it across different shows.
All right, you guys. So I will see you over there at 7:45 p.m. And this is not CP time. It's going to be on time. So I'll see you guys.
We're already
in a few
set
minutes.
up. So we're going to be right over there right now.
All right, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you for having me, Layla. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.